this is just sideways chop. I don't think we're going to see anything truly meaningful until we get some macro data that's going to allude to this 25 basis point or 50 basis point rate cut. So, the best way of looking at this is CPI tomorrow coming out, lunchtime UK time, but I suppose in the morning in the US. And I think it's quite possible that it misses expectations, so it comes in below expectations. And I think that will really build the idea of a 50 basis point rate cut being warranted. Probably will provide some sort of support to Bitcoin, but I don't think a huge amount. I think the market's in a mode now where it's just really wanting to see actually the Fed do a rate cut. That'll be on the 18th. So
yeah,
I think any true moves upwards, I think we need to see. We have to wait till the 18th of September.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. James Butterfill, the head of research at CoinShares, breaks down the latest in crypto.
And yet the market didn't even react. And in fact, last week, we saw $726 million of outflows in a week, which is the largest on record. Well, matches the largest on record seen in March. So investors aren't necessarily triggered by some of the events we've seen, which we usually expect to happen. And that's why I think the market's really in kind of no mood to look for signals. They want to see something like the Fed cut. But yeah, I think you're right on the politics side. What's really interesting in the presidential debate, I'm definitely going to be watching this because it's going to be very entertaining. But regardless, I don't want to sort of adopt a position of who's going to get ahead. Certainly the polling market, like Trump, seems ahead. But you can look at this event this evening, and we could see this in June as well. When Trump-Biden event occurred, you could see real time how investors were feeling about whether Trump was getting the upper hand or whether Biden was. And I think tonight we'll see that, particularly with Kamala versus Trump. If Trump really starts to get the upper hand, I think we'll really start to see, minute by minute, a response by the Bitcoin price rising. And likewise, if we see the price decline, I think it's probably going to be, people believe it's in Kamala's favor in terms of her comments. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think the elections are a big mover, and these debates will have some sort of price impact, but it'll be like a one-off. And I suppose as you get close to the US election, we'll know either way whether Trump's going to win or whether it's inevitable or not. But for me, it's a longer term. It's about monetary policy, and people have been talking about rate cuts for the last 2 years, and we've still not had one. It looks like it will start in September, and I think it will continue to go on. So we'll see further rate cuts in December, and then next year as disinflation really kicks in. To me, that is the primary driver for all of this. And interestingly, this is when we might see this decorrelation between risk assets like equities and Bitcoin. I don't believe Bitcoin is classed as a risk asset. Well, it's volatile, but it's risky, but it's not a risk asset. I think it's a store of value, an emerging store of value. And when we start to see, say, equities really underperform because of a weak macro environment, I believe that's when something like Bitcoin might really shine. So we see that decorrelation between the two asset classes.
Bitcoin gave up its latest gains into September 11 as the United States presidential debate disappointed crypto bulls. Upside momentum reversed as neither Donald Trump nor Kamala Harris offered fresh inspiration to those seeking commitment to supportive crypto policy. The crypto market was also disappointed by the lack of comments related to crypto policy. Trading firm QCP Capital wrote in a response to Telegram channel subscribers. QCP suggested that a risk-off move in risk assets could easily come toward the U.S. presidential election in November. In the short term, meanwhile, the significance of the August Consumer Price Index, CPI, print, due later in the day, was already fading. With this macro event behind us, attention now turns to tonight's CPI release. QCP continued. The market is expecting CPI to print at 2.55%, 2.9% previously. We find the chances of an upside surprise more likely. However, we anticipate minimal market impact from CPI as the focus has shifted to unemployment data. Recent unemployment figures sparked brief bouts of BTC price volatility, this nonetheless failing to initiate a clear trend in either direction. Bitcoin is following the path, expecting a lot of momentum to come after CPI and PPI. Crypto trader, analyst, and entrepreneur Michael Van de Poppe reasoned on X. Van de Poppe suggested that the low time-frame correction was standard procedure before CPI events. Just a regular correction happening currently with CPI coming up. We'll be good at $55.56K holds, he concluded. Continuing, popular trader Don Crypto Trades noted a pattern emerging on the 4-hour chart. A chart uploaded to X on the day showed these two trend lines at $59,200 and $58,840, respectively. Whether $BTC trades above or below these MAs are a good estimate of market strength/weakness, part of accompanying commentary argued. Bulls would want to retake those to get a further bounce going.
Yeah, and so, I mean, the next question obviously is if seasonality is particularly important. And if it is, does that mean we're getting really excited for October and November?
I think seasonality is rubbish, really. It's very hard. If you can look at some sort of patterns visually, but then if you decide to stick that in a portfolio and make some money from it, it doesn't work, sadly. Some people say sell in May and stay away, but you just need 1 year to wipe out all those gains you've made over the prior 5 years. September, is naturally just empirically looking numbers, not a great month, and I suppose so far we've fulfilled that. But I think this is like moving on to a similar sort of thing about cycles and perceived cycles. So the halving is one, and everyone's saying now we should be seeing the price rises, and we've not seen them. I just think I struggle with this one because we've only got a sample size of 4 for halvings, and you can easily argue that the price rises we saw in 2020 post-halving were to do with the COVID stimulus checks, not necessarily to do with the halving.
Bitcoin monthly futures carry inherent costs due to their prolonged settlement periods, with sellers typically demanding a 5% to 10% annualized premium to compensate for this risk. The annualized Bitcoin futures premium basis rate has stabilized at 6%, indicating that demand for leveraged bets on a price decline has remained consistent over the past week. All of this level is below the more bullish 8% from 4 weeks ago. The data indicates a robust market, supporting the strength of the $54,000 support level despite recent price volatility. The BTC/USD 4-hour chart shows a bullish divergence in the 4-hour RSI preceding the price recovery seen over the last 3 days. The RSI is a trend-following oscillating momentum indicator used to assess whether a market is overbought, oversold, or accumulating. A bullish divergence from the RSI occurs when a decrease in price is accompanied by an increase in momentum, resulting in upward movements. The bullish divergence could hint that the bulls are gaining control of the market and plan to push the price toward the 200-day exponential moving average at $59,000 in the short term. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.